The other day, as I was walking outside, a crow flew right beside me and it landed just a few feet away. For a moment, everything else disappeared, the noise of the world, the swirl of my thoughts in my head, and all of that remained was this magnificent creature looking back at me. I felt an immediate connection, a sense of recognition as though this crow had something to tell me. Crows have always been one of my spirit animals, a totem animal, if you will. They carry deep symbolism across cultures that include intelligence, transformation, mystery, and the bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. To me, the crow represents awareness, a reminder to look beyond appearances and listen for the whispers of truth that the world constantly offers. When a crow crosses my path, I take it as a nudge from the universe to stay awake and trust the messages arising from intuition and synchronicity. Spirit animals are mirrors. They show us something about ourselves, our journey, and our current state of being. They appear not by accident, but when we are ready to learn what they have to teach. Sometimes it's an animal that shows up in real life, a butterfly that always seems to follow you, a cat that curls up beside you each morning, a hawk circling overhead at just the right moment. Other times it's an animal you've always felt drawn to but may have never met in person, such as an elephant, a dolphin, or even a giraffe. Each encounter holds meaning if we choose to look deeper. Across time and culture, the crow has been both feared and revered. To some, it is a harbinger of mystery or death. To others, it is a sacred messenger and guardian of transformation. In Native American traditions, the crow often symbolizes the keeper of sacred law, one who sees beyond the veil and lives in harmony with both the light and shadow. In Celtic and Norse mythology, the crow is associated with prophecy, wisdom, and the cycles of death and rebirth. The crow teaches us to embrace change and transformation rather than resist them. It appears when something within us is shifting, when an old identity, habit, or belief is ready to be released, so that something new can emerge. Crows remind us that death is not always an ending. It is often a beginning. Just as the crow feeds on what has passed, we too can find nourishment in our own experiences, using loss, failure, or grief as catalysts for deeper growth. The crow's black feathers symbolize the unknown, the mystery that exists beyond what the human mind can grasp. Yet within that darkness lies profound wisdom. The crow invites us to enter the unknown courageously, to sit in the discomfort of not knowing until the next truth reveals itself. It tells us, trust the dark, trust your intuition. The answers you seek are already within you. So how can we bring the crow's wisdom into our personal lives? I've got 5 different ways that I've recognized in my own life that I can bring into my personal life. The first one is to see beyond the obvious. Crows are incredibly intelligent and perceptive. They observe before acting. In your own life, practice this mindful observation. Before reacting, pause. Watch the patterns around you. What's repeating? What's shifting? What's calling for your attention? Often life communicates in subtle signs and synchronicities, much like the crow's sudden appearance. The second insight is honor the shadow. The crow reminds us that darkness is not our enemy. It's part of our wholeness. Instead of rejecting pain, fear, or grief, explore them with curiosity. Ask what lesson or transformation lies beneath them. Healing often begins when we stop judging our shadow and instead learn from it. The third idea is use your voice. Crows are vocal creatures. They speak up, call out, and alert their community. Let this remind you to express your truth even when it feels uncomfortable. Your voice carries power, and silence can sometimes be a form of self-betrayal. Speak with authenticity, compassion, and courage. Be discriminatory with this. Sometimes you may not want to share an idea, a plan, a goal, or some insight until it is fully developed and mature. Embrace community and connection. Crows are deeply social. They form tight-knit groups and even hold what seem like funerals for their fallen. They teach us about community, loyalty, and communication. We too thrive when we honor our connections with others, with nature, and with spirit. Finally, recognize magic in the mundane. The crow is the alchemist of the animal kingdom, transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. When we cultivate presence, you begin to see the sacred woven through every aspect of daily life. The glint of light on water, a chance conversation, a bird landing nearby. The crow whispers, "Nothing is random. Everything is connected." If you're curious about your own spirit animal, start by noticing which creatures capture your attention or keep showing up in your dreams or daily life. Do some gentle research, not to find a fixed definition, but to see what resonates. Ask yourself what qualities this animal embodies and how they might be showing up in your life right now. Maybe the playful dolphin reminds you to bring more joy into your days. Maybe the grounded turtle invites you to slow down and trust your own pace. Or maybe, like the crow, your spirit animal encourages you to see the magic hidden in the ordinary. When we pay attention to these connections, we remember something essential. We are part of a vast, intelligent web of life. Every encounter, whether with a person, an animal, or a quiet moment of awareness, is an invitation to listen, learn, and reconnect with our own spirit. The next time you see a crow or any animal that captures your attention, pause for a moment. Take a breath and simply observe. Ask yourself, what was I thinking or feeling right before this encounter? What qualities does this animal represent? What might it be reflecting about my current path? Write down what comes up without overanalyzing it. Spirit often speaks through intuition, imagery, and emotion rather than logic. Over time, you'll begin to recognize patterns, messages that guide you toward alignment, authenticity, and deeper self-understanding. To walk with the crow is to walk with awareness. It's to live between worlds, the seen and the unseen, the material and the mystical. When we open ourselves to that balance, we discover that guidance is always present, waiting patiently in the rustle of wings, the call of a nearby tree, or the quiet knowing within our own hearts.